welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UKOCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
Ian, welcome to the Swift Half again, the penultimate one before the awards. How are you?
I'm good. Is that the correct use of penultimate?
I don't know. Is penultimate? Yeah, penultimate one before, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I always, words like that, I always get confused with. Penultimate, biannual always gets me. Is biannual twice a year or every 2 years?
Well, it's twice a year, I know that. But you're right, because it doesn't, you think that's twice and then annual year. So twice, twice a year. They miss the A out, don't they?
They do, so twice a year. Yeah. Right, cool. Should we start again or should we just keep going?
We never start again. We just keep on going.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, listener. Welcome to the Swift Half Dictionary Corner.
No, it's Martin Gemmell is the Dictionary Corner. He messaged us actually on the pub podcast group because last week we was trying to get out dawn and sunset or something along those lines, weren't we? So I'm going to give him a big shout out. I've got to find it first because I did see it and I was going to talk about it, but I've closed my phone since. So it's put horizon-based question. You can't swim for new horizons until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. And that was by somebody called William Faulkner. Was he famous?
I think he was lost at sea.
That's a good one. He lost sight of the shore. So he was lost at sea. What did we say? Every dawn is a new day or something? We said,
something like that. It's always dark before the dawn or something like that. I read something which would be great. I really wish I was as tired as I am in the morning just before going to bed and as wake as I am at the night when I wake up.
How weird is that? How strange. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to tell listeners now about Wendy at the weekend. So at the weekend, I think it was Sunday night. Yeah, it was Sunday night. And we was watching something on television. We'd had lunch and we'd been a bit busy and watching something on television. And she fell asleep about 7:30. She fell asleep on the sofa. So I got my phone out. I was flicking through Facebook as you do, and stuff like that. About 9:30, telly flicked itself off. I don't know what time. Most tellies probably do it now. I don't know, but it's the first one I've ever had that turns itself off if you don't press a button in so many times.
I'm going to interrupt and say that's not correct. Okay. The reason it turned off is you didn't put the 50p in it.
Oh, I remember 50p TVs, me.
50p TVs. Any of our listeners who was born, I don't know, late 80s, early 90s, have no idea what we're talking about.
No.
But look up, ask your mum and dad or your granddad, unfortunately, in some cases, about putting 50p in the TV, or the trick you did where you tied a string to it and put it in and then took it out again.
Pull it out.
or tried to. But anyway, your TV switched off. Wendy was asleep.
Yeah, so I woke up. It's about 9:30. It wasn't too late, and I said, "Are we going to bed?" And she was like, "Yeah." And she was tired. Bless her. She was tired, and we goes to bed. And then she had verbal diarrhea for about 2 hours. She would not stop talking for 2 hours. 1 minute she's fast asleep, yeah, sock on, gone, whatever, and then she's talking. Is Jen the intern like this? Does she fall asleep and then wake up when we go to bed, or when you go to bed?
It's usually me. I'm the usual person who falls asleep early, and then. That actually happened to me. We'll get into DECA later on, but I was feeling really ill over DECA. Something's been going round, hasn't it? And yeah. I got home. We got home. It must have been about 5-6 o'clock. I just closed my eyes and I woke up about an hour and a half later. Jen asking, "What should we have for tea?" So she went and sorted it. And I fell asleep again. And then ate it, and then fell asleep until about midnight when I woke up. And it was then me chatting to Jen, and Jen was, quite tired, quite exhausted, wanting to go to bed. So, yeah, I think it's just something that happens. It's why you're sometimes jealous of single people. You can sleep when you want.
You can just sleep when you want. Just sleep on.
But Alan, I can't segue from that. What are you drinking?
Oh, yeah. You're going to shout at me, and I'm actually on Coca-Cola tonight. Cherry Coca-Cola.
Oh, I'm not going to shout because I do love and I miss cherry Coca-Cola. They've not done a caffeine-free one yet, which is a shame.
No, this is zero though. This is Coca-Cola Zero. But yeah, it's cherry Coca-Cola. I've been driving, so I've just got back, and I didn't want a pint, and I might have to go back out again later after this. Hopefully, I haven't. But I've got to go down and take some stuff down to Rob and Jamie's with the awards coming. We're all getting excited, and I'm giving Rob my wetsuit, my wetsuit. So he wants to go and test it on. So I'm going to it down to us and give him my wetsuit to test for nuts.
Rob knows. I know we said fancy dress, you can be as relaxed as you want, but I think a wetsuit might be getting really close to not being appropriate.
It's a good wetsuit, though. It was a couple of £100. It was more than my suits.
Yeah, it might be, but I just don't. One, I presume it's going to be warm in the actual arena, the place. I'm not sure a wetsuit's suitable, Rob. You might want to rethink it, mate.
Yeah.
If you need, I can bring you a nice T-shirt. It's fine.
Yeah, maybe you should wear a proper suit for nuts and then the wetsuit for the awards. Now that would be funny, but no,
that would be
it's
funny.
For nuts. It's for nuts. He has got neoprene, but he's lost a lot of weight recently, Rob. So he's like his neoprene top is a little bit baggy, and as anyone who's ever running neoprene, they know that baggy neoprene just does not do its work. It needs to be fit, needs to be hugging you.
I think I'm the opposite. My neoprene is now very, very tight.
Yeah, mine is too.
But
what are you going?
A reason for that is because today I am drinking a 4.3% drink, Alan.
Well, this is a school night. You're going to tell me you're not working tomorrow?
No, it is a school night, but I am drinking Brewdog Fellowship Pale Ale.
Lord of the Rings.
It's a special edition Lord of the Rings one.
Where did you get this from?
I think my brother bought it for Christmas, which I now realise was almost 3 months ago.
now you're frantically looking to see if it's still if it's best before dates.
Oh no, it's fine until August. It's great.
I was gutted. Well, I'm not gutted, but today I was copied into a link at work that Sheffield is having a beer festival this weekend on Friday and Saturday night. And obviously I'm in London, but apparently it's going to be the biggest beer festival in Sheffield. There is 20 pubs involved and nearly 200 different alcoholic beverages.
In related news, does anyone want to go to the awards? We have tickets to sell.
We have 2 tickets for sale. You can actually even host them if you want.
You can even host it. Oh dear. Right, should we move on to some news?
Let's move on to news.
Okay.
Let's go with our favourite, Rat Race.
Rat Race have spoken to us. They are listening to this show because this wasn't even a Thursday night sale, Alan. This was, I think, Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, it was.
Tuesday afternoon. And Rat Race listeners, you'll be happy to know your prayers have been answered. Bivvy bags are on sale.
Back in stock, just at the right time. And an amazing price, Ian. Two for a fiver.
Two for a fiver. And free UK shipping.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. What's the last thing? Have you bought anything since Christmas? Running related?
No, there's a lot of things I need to buy. I need a new watch. I probably need some new trainers. But no, other than race tickets, no, I've not bought anything.
I bought my first thing today.
What did you get?
It was something that I don't need, because you never do need it. I just want it. I was flicking through Facebook, because if people don't know, me and you, Ian, we flick through Facebook for news, don't we? As well as we look at other sections as well. But Facebook, we get a lot of little snippets from, but we get some people tell us stuff, and then we're part of the Discord, and we do Twitter. So we do from a lot of social media. We do get some of our news stories from that.
You're giving us away all of our secrets here, Alan. There's going to be 101 OCR podcasts out next week because they know that we don't have sources. We literally scroll Facebook.
No, we do have sources. I did say that. And we'll come to some of those sources in a minute because we have been told stuff. But I was flicking through anyway, and sportshoes.com popped up only because I'm looking for a new race vest. You know, a running backpack, a bigger one, a 12-litre plus one. And they know that you're listening, don't they? They know that you're looking. So it popped up, sportshoes.com, silver head torch, trail running one, reduced from £120 down to 60, and then I get 10% off. So I get it for £53. So I've got myself a new head torch for ETM and for my 100 miler. It's rechargeable as a spare battery, but each battery lasts for 5 hours. So that's all I'm going to need. That's absolutely perfect for anything. Waterproof as well.
That is absolutely perfect. Who are you going to tell when are you testing it for?
Well, I'm hoping. This is a point. It's going to come on Saturday while I'm away. So I'm just going to say, I know nothing about it, sweetheart. I have no. Someone's must have just sent it me, and I don't know about it. She's not listening to this podcast, so I'm all right. Yeah. My first purchase of 2023 that I can think of. Can't think of anything else I've purchased this year.
I think that's, to be fair, a head torch is a pretty good buy, particularly like you say, you're going on your 24-hour race and you're going ETM. So yeah, it's perfect. I won't hold that against you. Say I really need a new watch, mainly because I went running today, Alan. I forgot to tell you.
No way. This is a running podcast and you're telling me you're going running now.
Yeah, but I haven't properly run since we crashed out of High Rocks. I can't remember running since then. I might have done, but I can't actually remember. And I'm too lazy to check my Strava. But it's the first time I can remember running. I only did 4K, only half an hour's worth of effort, because I'll say it was nice and easy to, the thing you say, nice and easy run. No, I'm slow. I'm slow. It was tough. I'm slow. I don't care. But yeah, and I'd forgot what the runner's high felt like.
Oh, it's good, isn't it? Did you get that like euphoria when you was out there? And
not when I was out there. Everything hurt. When I got back about 2 hours later, I felt good.
Oh, I'm missing it at the moment. I'm going to do some cycling, so my update on my calf injury is still there. Not going to do anything for about 5 weeks. I've decided. I'm fully walking okay now, so I'm back to walking okay. Going to try some cycling in about week 3 or 4, I think, and update. I know some people I've actually had a few messages, people asking me how my calf is. So
that's actually quite nice.
I thought it was as well. So thank you to those people who did. I absolutely loved it.
But speaking of my very short run and your inability to run, should we talk about people who in a few weeks, I think 7 weeks, will be running a very long way?
In 7 weeks, really long way. So remind me which one this one is then, because
this is a London Marathon.
Oh, the London Marathon. Is it only 7 weeks away?
I think so, maybe even 6.
Oh my God. This is coming round so quick. I can't believe how quick this is coming round.
It really, really is. But there was a bit of controversy this week, wasn't there?
Yeah. You messaged me. I can't remember where I was when you messaged me this, and I was like, "No, they're not really doing this. Give up your medal. Don't accept it. Save the planet."
Yeah, they're basically asking people to not take a medal and a T-shirt and tell them you don't want a medal and a T-shirt. And I believe in return, they'll use the money to plant a tree or something similar. I'll be honest, I'm not seeing a lot of news about this. I've just seen the uproar on social media about it, because I think everyone who's running it got an email about it, and neither me or you are running it, which is a good thing based on recent efforts. But yeah, people are kind of up in the arm, and I can kind of understand. Alan, like you, I'm happy to try anything we can do to help the environment. So, for example, this weekend, we're using wooden trophies, yeah?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are going eco-friendly. Green is our planet.
Yeah, we are using wooden trophies. We're encouraging people to car share where they can. I don't think we've made that official, but we do know people will car share where they can. Yep. We're going to recycle all the old jokes we tell.
All the old jokes.
All the old jokes we tell. So we're going to recycle them. So we're going to try and make it green. And I get that. But when it comes to something like a bucket list thing, it's like the one race where it feels a bit wrong.
If there's any race where it's going to be wrong, this is going to be, because like you said, this is a bucket. This is not one. Some people get into it every year. Some people get into it every year. But I think it's about 50% who don't. We all, so many people enter that ballot, and don't get a ticket. That's how big a race it is for them. So fair enough they're asking people not to take one, and maybe a lot of people won't. I think people will take medals. I'm not convinced everyone will take a T-shirt. But then the part that got me, they're asking people not to take a T-shirt. But when you enter the ballot, if you can actually pay extra to go into the second ballot and you get a free T-shirt.
Yeah, you can. So yeah, they produce a lot of stuff to encourage people to give them money, basically. Because let's be honest, but it ain't a 40 quid top. It's a very nice top. I've got one. Yeah. In fact, I ran in one tonight. It's a very, very nice one. But yeah, it's not a 40 quid. They do that to try and encourage people. And it also smacks of me. And I'm sorry, London Marathon, it kind of smacks of greed, because I'm not convinced that what you'll probably save by not ordering the medals and the T-shirts will be all passed on.
Well, I think they've got to have already ordered the medals now. The medals will be coming from China. I would be surprised if they weren't coming from China or somewhere in the Far East, because I think they do metal medals. So the ones I've seen have always been metal.
They do, but they've got a nifty way of getting rid of the spares.
By doing the virtual.
Well, virtual, and you can buy a photograph package with Sportograph, which they'll get you a framed picture for the low price of 150 quid or whatever it is, and that'll have a medal in it.
So they're wanting to sell more of these. So you can have 2 medals then, or you can have no medal, not take a medal, and then pay for a picture and have a medal.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is not joined up. At no point is this not joined up. In carpentry, we're trying to put a dovetail with some other joint, and I can't think of another joint because I'm not a carpenter. Was it round peg into a square hole? There we go. That's what it is. It feels like a round peg into a square hole, and it's not joined up at all. Either they're going to go eco-friendly, and say, we're more inclined for them to turn around and say, we're not going to give T-shirts away.
Yeah, I think that, or you can buy a T-shirt separately. You can order it in advance, because some people will want a T-shirt. But of course, like you said, the T-shirt's probably ordered. It's 7 weeks away. So what they'll do is all the ones that don't get used will probably be on a plane which has jet fuel heading to a less fortunate part of the globe to be given away.
Yeah. This is the thing. We talk about going green and being eco-friendly and a carbon footprint. And it's so hard. Because the small savings you make, you don't even make small savings. So an example is our awards. The money we've paid for wooden trophies, which are eco-friendly, they're more expensive than the metal ones. So we're paying more for it. That's cool. I don't mind that. The carbon footprint's less than metal. However, they've still got to be shipped out to us. They've got to be sent to us, and they've got in the packaging and there's actually more packaging, I think, because these will come in a big box. So there's a bit more packaging. It does seem that we're trying as a nation and as a species. I think a lot of us are trying to go down that, but it makes it so hard. It does make it so hard. Like you just said there with the T-shirts. If they've got lots left over, they're going to send them to a less fortunate country. People who need clothing and that. But we're putting them on a jet and jetting them out there.
Yeah. So I think it's called greenwash. You know what? I would have much preferred if they've done this next year as their big thing. Have next year as the greenest London Marathon ever, and have it from the start, so you know that they're not ordering extra medals, they're not ordering extra T-shirts. You get to have a choice there and then.
Pick a box right at the start. Medal, no medal.
Exactly. And the other thing is, how are we going to police it? Because you don't get it at the start, and giving out 40,000 people, you could put on your bib, whether it is, or you could get a wristband, but there's a good chance that someone will get bored or fatigued and just hand stuff out.
You know what I would like to see, and I think it would be better. We all have a medal, but we put a medal in his gym, or we put a medal on his wall somewhere, and it's good for a while, but then it loses its lackluster. I would love something where you can we talk about patches on dry robes and things like that, and everyone's got a patch on the dry robes. What about pin badges? So you could like wear a pin badge. Like back in the day, you used to get the footballers, the Chelsea pensioners. They'd have all the Chelsea pin badges on them, wouldn't they? And as well as the trophies. That's an idea. We could start an OCR pin badge trend.
An OCR pin badge, because then you could get a hat and put them on.
Yeah,
you could, couldn't you?
I'm thinking here. Yeah, this could be a whole different thing. Which race director wants to do it? I'd do it at Overload. I'm sure we could do it at Overload.
Yeah, let's have a look. Of course, we'd have to make them wooden.
That would be the ideal, wouldn't it? You have to make them wooden. But even if you made them metal, your carbon footprint's going to be less because they're much smaller.
Yeah, and they need to be cycled to us.
Yeah, they need to be cycled to us.
Yeah, and
that's a good reason for me, Jamie, and Rob to have a good cycle somewhere. We can cycle, pick them up.
Yeah, exactly. See, things often happen in this podcast, don't they, where we just discuss stuff.
Discuss stuff and come up with an answer.
We do. Right. Should we talk? This was something our good friend Graham sent us. The government games. I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but it's happening in Dubai at the moment, or it will when you're listening to this, because it starts on the 2nd. So as you're listening to this, it'll be day 2. What do you think, Alan?
It's clear. What do they call it? Is it sport washing when you've got a country that's trying to put sport on to make it look better?
A little bit like the greenwashing London Marathon's trying to do.
Exactly, yeah. This is exactly what they said. They're trying to make their country look a little bit better. I think it's they've got to do these things. These countries have got to do these things, but they've got much more. The government's putting these on. The government's paying for this. The government's doing this, but they've got much more bigger pressing issues to deal with than something like this and spending absolutely millions of pounds on this.
Yeah, you're right. The priorities may be a little bit lacking. But on the other hand, Alan, inviting athletes from all different corners of the world would expose them to that country, and they may see things they don't like.
Yeah.
And they may then start not campaigning, but bring more awareness to it. Although it's difficult, isn't it, Alan? Because there are obviously things that offend us. And government games, I think, is happening in Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai is, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, things that offend us, but we're also looking at it through a Western lens. So it's very hard to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's, of course, probably some truths that are indisputable. There are some things that they do which they probably shouldn't, such as various human rights issues, shall we say. Yeah, arresting people and keeping them without trial for a long time isn't great, but they're not the only ones who do that. I was listening to Scamfluencers. I've talked about it on the show before. Yeah. The former chairman of a certain car company, he was actually held without trial in a Tokyo jail for 21 days, Alan, without charges.
No charges?
No charges. So, yeah, obviously, we're talking about Dubai here, but we shouldn't think, all the other countries we see as friendly are fine, because they're not. But this kind of thing, I might have lost my thought. I like it because it brings people to it. And have you seen the actual challenges themselves?
I looked on their social media, on the Instagram, and I've got to admit, I didn't go into great detail. I looked at one or two, but they look they're a bit OCR-y stroke. What's the game we used to see that was in Australia that time?
Argentina, Total Wipeout, you're thinking of?
Total Wipeout, that was it, yeah. It's a bit of a cross, isn't it?
It looks really fun for that kind of thing. I'm not sure if we've got any UK people over there. I know I've got some friends over right now, but I'm not sure if you're doing this or not. I never thought to ask them. I'm such a bad journalist, but we do know that some well-known people from OCR will be there: Lindsay Webster, Hunter McIntyre, Chris Rogowski, and that. So no doubt there will be coverage over the weekend. So I think keep an eye. I think Leon is on. Leon Crawford.
All right, yeah. Well, this is his gig. This is his gig. This short course ninja style OCR is his gig.
Yeah, so I think he's there. I think he's doing stories for ORM. So pay attention to ORM. Alan, what story do you want to go to next?
Let's go, because you went to marathons, and I was gonna go to the other marathon one that I put on today. of the Chinese guy that's run a marathon. Well, I think he's Chinese. Let me get it up now. Takanoubi Minashima. Yeah, not Chinese, sorry, Japanese. He has ran the Osaka Marathon in 3 hours, 28 minutes and 11 seconds. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's fairly quick, but nothing special, aren't you? Yeah. Well, this is special. Have you ever seen the Chinese stroke Japanese movies? So the samurais, and on the feet, they had the wooden blocks, and they were literally a block of wood, and on top you get a little platform. So they're about 6 inches tall, and they stand on them. And when they walked in and they dubbed the Japanese movies, the samurais, they dubbed and they're walking, and all you can hear is click, 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 click. Well, he's ran it in those traditional Japanese wooden shoes. So, and he's ran 3 hours, 28 minutes in the Osaka Marathon. That is amazing.
That is amazing. And his carbon footprint, quite literally, will be a lot lower than someone running in trainers.
You've got to look at this, guys. It's on this is on social media. I found this on social media, so I'm gonna be honest. It's on Runda Estimate. Yep, that's RUNDERESTIMATE, and his name is Takanobu Minashima. You've got to see the shoes; they're amazing.
And what we'll do, we're going to share it on our Facebook at some point.
We are going to share it on our Facebook as well, yeah, because it's classic.
Oh dear.
The best
what's the other story? We've had another long distance story today, haven't we?
We have, yes. So I did get this up, but for some reason my computer is now turning around and saying no. Let me try and reload it up again. So this is a guy who's ran for 24 hours.
Yeah, he's quite a well-known racer. I think he's been on a few podcasts actually.
Yeah, he's been on quite a lot of podcasts, not on ours yet, but there could still be time. He's ran 24 hours, and for the full 24 hours, he's ran at an average pace. I think it's 5:11. Now, I'm having trouble getting this up on my. Oh, here it is. Robbie Britton. So he did this in Italy, and he ran 172.392 miles at an average pace of 5 minutes 11 per kilometre.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I can't translate that into miles, but I did check to see if I could keep up with him for an hour, and no, I couldn't, because it comes in at about 7.5 miles an hour.
Yeah, that is it's crazy. But for 24 hours, that is absolutely crazy. Now, I have seen a cut of notes on here, Ian, and I don't know if this is right. Apparently, it can't be classed as a British record because he ran it in Italy. Is that true? Do you know?
Well, I guess it's technically a British record. It depends what you define as British record. Will it be a British athlete record? Yeah, probably. Will it be a British record? Maybe not so much, because it is in Italy. A British record would be doing that in the UK. So we should invite him to Farmyard Jam.
Yeah. I wonder if he could actually do that, because he could cover it in 20 minutes, and then would he just sit around? See, that's going to be the big thing about things like the Farmyard Jam. It's the sitting around doing nothing. Can you do that for 24 hours?
Well, me and you could. It was great.
Well, yeah, but we didn't run in between, did we?
No.
We actually just sat around for 24 hours.
You've got to say, we might have said this at the time, but if you're a race director, and I'm not a race director, Alan is, I was just for doing media. If you're a race director, put on one of these events once, because it was so nice, and Alan and Jamie can attest to this, that every hour you had to do something. Yeah, Alan? Every hour you had to do something. And then you had about 30 minutes where you could just chill out. It was amazing.
Exactly. Some people could chill out, some people couldn't. But yeah, it was I loved it. I loved it for that. I'm going to just chill out all the time.
Is Rob going to help you this time as well?
Rob's running. So Rob's running. Rob's coming down to run. He's going to go and try and run as far as he possibly can. And then he's going to help out on the Sunday. I don't think he'll go past... He might go past 24 hours. He's running really well at the minute.
He might win it.
He might win it. We had a question about this week sent to me. We've got three ladies who are coming to run. 3 ladies are wanting to run, and they said, do they have to have a 4th member? And I said, no, You're a team. You're a team of 3. You're a team, aren't you? So it's solos, pairs, or a team of up to 4. So it's a team, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a team of up to 4. So people can have less people if they want. So it's a team of either 3 or 4, because if there's 2 of you, it'll be obviously a pair.
Yeah,
thanks, Alan. I was a bit confused there for a second. Oh dear.
Last week I talked about Tough Mudder Innovation Lab.
You did indeed.
And I talked about how good some of those designs was, and we have our first winner.
We do indeed. It was announced today. Look at Tough Mudder getting news out so we can put it on here.
Yeah, they're on the ball. Tough Mudder's on the ball with us. They're in sync with us now. Everyone's getting in sync with us here. It all comes out on a Wednesday.
You say that.
Shall we tell everyone what it is?
Absolutely.
It's Rock Ness. So like Block Ness, but with rock holes.
Yeah, this was by Norm Your Limits, wasn't it? The ones we talked about, the creators of Kong Infinity.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, they're the first ones to win. We did say it was a good one, though, the other week, didn't we, this one?
We did. My only concern about it is, for it to truly work, it's going to need to actually be circular tubes.
Yes.
And that's going to take some manufacturing.
Yes.
Because if they just put rock holes on Block Ness, it's not actually going to be that great, because all you need to do is get someone to jam their leg under the one of the blocks, and you just climb over it. You're making it easier.
Yeah, I don't think the circular tubes are going to be a big problem, because you know the black tubes that we crawl through at tipping point, you can get them in really big. So they would just buy them. I think they are quite expensive. I think they're about £800-900. I did look at them at one stage. So they're about £800-900 each. So that wouldn't be too bad. It would then be, you'd have to put some type of wood inside them at the same size, to then put the spindle in. So it's not going to be an easy thing to build and to make. But yeah, they wouldn't have to, the fabrication of the tube wouldn't be that hard, because you can actually buy that tube.
Okay. No,
my concern is, though, is the rock holes, as you're pulling them and trying to go over them, I've got a feeling you're going to bang your knees and things like that on them.
Yeah, that's quite true. And plus, you're going to have teammates holding it steady for you, because otherwise it's just like the world's worst hamster wheel in reverse.
That would be if it was on a loose, because we like Block Ness because it's on a bit of a hard stair. But I can imagine if this was a loose one and you're on it and you're just going round and round and round. I've got a vision now of like an outside hamster wheel.
It would be. I can't wait to see our friends Sean and Jess take it on, because they'll be hitting it first. So it could be quite funny.
And how fast Sean runs, he's going to be pulling on it that fast. Oh, it's going to be hilarious. You know, I want him to like have things on the side, you know, like a brake, so he can actually take it off at one point, just for the fun of it. A brake to make it easy and a brake to make it faster.
Well, you know, that'll make these water safety guys entertain, won't it?
It'll keep me. I will never move. So when I do a filming, I will never move from that. That's going to be the one. I'm just going to be sat there filming it all the time.
Hey, that'll be the reel that gets the clicks.
We've got a guest.
We have indeed. We mentioned at the top of the show that I went to DECA this weekend, but I didn't take part, so I couldn't really give a full review of it, Alan, could I have? So you invited someone on.
Matt Rigby, welcome to the Swift Half.
Hey, evening, gents. You had a refurb in here. Looks all nice and posh now. Since the last time I came in.
Well, we had to spend the awards money somewhere. Oh, wait, sorry. Just kidding. We should stop joking about things like that, because people won't actually believe the fact that you're not even making fuel money on it.
I'm not making fuel money. We'll have some news to break, actually. We're going to break some news at the end of this, Ian, because what I told you about earlier, and I think we should break at the end of this.
You sure?
Podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're going to, yeah.
Okay, we could. We might have to explain it again, because there's 120 people at the awards, and about 5 of them will listen to this podcast. So we will have to break it again. So it's like a sneak peek. Anyway, we were talking earlier about DECA. Matt, you took it on. I obviously have thoughts, but what were your thoughts?
I thought it was pretty freaking awesome, to be honest. the getting to the venue from where I am, just south of Manchester, was quite easy to get to. I kind of like looked in and thought, is this it? But that place is like a TARDIS, man. There's so many rooms, and then it just got bigger, and like you go into the next room, and then there's obviously like the box where the main event was, after going down a few flights of stairs, and then just like I was a little bit concerned with like transition, but they literally like, and you can see from the photos that people have put out, it literally is on a lane. So you do one, walk forward, you're straight onto another. There wasn't a transition. So I'm still buzzing, mate, guys. I'm still buzzing from it. I think I still got that kind of like race feeling, race nerves, race vibes. Saw a lot of people there, obviously from the OCR community that we knew, and a couple of guys from High Rocks as well. So they had 90 participants throughout the day, and I think as a first one, I think Chris and his team and the volunteers did an amazing job.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up on that, Alan. You often talk about how a race director, if everything goes right, then you're not really tested, and it doesn't really prove you as a race director, does it?
Exactly. Too right.
Yeah. Chris is experienced, and unfortunately, he got some duff information at the start of the event.
Oh, what happened?
So the way that Deca Strong works firstly, we should say it's not like High Rocks when it's in a gym. Yeah, not too many people are going off at once. In fact, they had 2 separate lanes for people, so people were going off 2 at a time. Okay?
Yeah.
In half an hour, so between 9 and 9:30, there's 8 people.
Right.
So you're setting people off 2 at a time.
Every 6-7 minutes?
Yeah, and that was the thing. Spartan told him that if he set people off at 15 minutes intervals, he'd get through them.
So that's 8 an hour then?
That's 8 an hour, and you meant to have 16.
Right.
So this was spotted quite early. Yeah. After the first few people had gone off at 15-minute intervals, Chris noted it. I think a few other people know it, but Chris noted it, and straight away he was onto his team. Look, we need to catch up, and they did. They basically implemented a thing where anyone who was in the wave, they'd get them ready, and when they'd gone past the halfway point, which was a ski erg, unless the person looked like they needed a little bit more time so that someone could catch them before they'd finished, they set the next people off. So they were doing it, like you say, every 6 or 7 minutes, maybe a bit quicker, and they got through it. So well done to Chris and the team. And to me, that's the mark of a good race director, of noticing something isn't going quite to plan and correcting it.
100%. That is what a race director does. They do things on the fly. You know, it's literally, if something's wrong, it needs to be fixed, whatever that is.
And he had a clipboard, and he was going around hunting people down.
Yeah, that was really good. He came and found me and said, like, because I was expecting to obviously go anywhere, and he explained it, and I was like, right, and getting ready and doing a bit of a warm up. And then I started to make my way down there a little bit earlier anyway, but he came and got me. He said, mate, you're going to go like in the next 4 or 5 minutes, so just get ready if you can. And so, yeah, it's that's it. We were set off on those lovely, juicy 55-pound ram lunges to start with, which I thought I'd take easy at first, but I don't think I did. I think I got through them in just over a minute or so. And then, yeah, so as I was coming to the end of mine, there were 2 other guys behind me, and one of them was from my gym. So it was quite nice. I was on the tank, and he was on the ski, and his name's Steve. And that was his first ever functional fitness event that he's done. So he was really good. Like, he was shouting at me when I was holding on to the dumbbells for the farmer's carry, because I nearly put them down, and he was just like giving me really good encouragement. And then he was on the ski as I was on the tank, pull and push, and we were just both like encouraging each other. And I think that was, I don't know, like if someone caught up someone, it was like a little bit or looking as though they were getting in the way. But I don't think I saw like people get in each other's way really that often. I thought it was quite nice for us to be both being able to encourage each other in the same sort of lane like that. I thought that was pretty decent.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, Matt. Absolutely 100%. I think that kind of made the event, the fact that you would often have 3 people in the area all at the same time. It was just, you no longer felt I can only speak to what I heard from the intern. You no longer felt under pressure because their friends were cheering for them and her friends were cheering for her, and everyone was just all cheering together.
Everyone was like, there were people there that obviously I didn't know or had just been, and that's the thing about kind of like this sort of community that's evolving, and it's dragging people the same sort of personalities and people in that I think everyone said hello to everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's super, super friendly. And everyone was like, and even I was encouraging people that I didn't know. And then other people were encouraging me that I didn't know. And it became like do you know what I mean? And because of the way that there were lanes set out and then the spectators, it was quite intimate, I'd say. Do you know what I mean? You were really close, weren't you, Ian? From where you were taking, you were literally like right on it. You couldn't really get any closer. And it was just one of those things that helped create a really good atmosphere.
It was the little things, wasn't it? The little touches, like they had what I presume were wall ball areas. Alan, me and you don't know what they look like because we never made it to there. Never done one. We never made it to there. But they had the wall ball area, and he had tape across there. It was just a little touch that made it clear that's where spectators should be.
It's like, so it was like a cross, basically like rigs that they have in CrossFit. So you've got the steel rigs where you can put the pegs in for like lifting, and obviously the stanchions. Then they've got the wall ball targets at the top. So and the bars that you can do pull ups off. So they had those. I would say it was probably like a pretty much traditional CrossFit type box, but obviously done it for Deca as in terms of being able to have kind of like the grass, like a grass bit for like the tanks or any sort of sleds or because I saw that they had obviously the 4-wheel tanks, and then they also had some 3-wheel tanks there as well. So they'd obviously put that in for that sort of work. And obviously you've had Chris on the show, and he said that before that he does like specific like Deca classes and stuff. So he's created a really good setup there. It was really decent. He was dead friendly. All the judges were. Mine was excellent. Like mine was like, he could see. I knew at times I was slow, and he was like, "Come on, mate, pick it up." Just like that, like the High Rocks Wall Ball volunteers. Do you know what I mean? Like those are the little things that you need, that are people that are right next to you that can just go, "Oh, just push a extra 5 seconds on your ski per 500k or something like that." Or he was saying to me, "Keep it under 2 minutes. Keep it under 2 minutes." When I was waning, and that was really good. And that he said what I needed to hear at the right time to keep me going, and I actually did pretty well. I was quite chuffed with my time in the end.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that, Matt. What was it like basically having your own judge? Alan, you may have seen this from a video, but each competitor was effectively got their own judge to hold their hand. What was it like compared to different other events?
It was really good. Like I don't even think I got his name. Like we didn't introduce ourselves or anything. He's just like, "Can I have your ticket?" And I was just like, "Can you change like the resistance on the erg? So really on the rower and the thing?" And he said, "Yeah." So as after like the people before me, I knew that were passed, I just went in and just changed them slightly. And then there was someone on the air bike, and I said, when they're on their air bike, "Can you put it to this setting for me?" And he did it. Not that I actually sat on the seat there. I never really sit on the seat for an air bike when it's, do you know what I mean? When you're not really on it for that long. I just stood up and tried to blast it out a little bit. But it was good. So the encouragement and the motivation for them. And then I was pulling the tank, and I was like going back to the end to where they had the shutters open. Like, I'm sure, like, do you know, like we've talked about race brain and stuff. Like, I'm sure I've been back here. Like, I've even done it at High Rocks before, where I've ran past the gate and then I've looked at my watch and gone, "No, I don't need to do another lap here." And then, do you know what I mean? Duck back in. So I was like, "Oh, I've done 4 or 5 lengths of this tank now." I was like, "This is the last one now, innit?" And he's like, "No, you've got another length to go." And I was like, "Oh God, right, all right then." So do you know what I mean? It was really good, and he was, like I say, he said the right things to me to help keep me going, and they were really fair as well, because there was a couple of times where I was close, and he's just like, "Just make sure you like on the movement standards." They were really well. My guy was really up to it. He made sure I was doing everything proper, and that's what you want. You want it to kind of like all be fair, don't you, and stuff like that. So I hope everyone else kind of got the same sort of, that they've all been briefed really well, and everyone all got the same sort of treatment.
Sounds good. That I like that. Ian, I've got a question for you, because you've been out to Europe, so you've done a Deca in Europe. How did it compare to Europe? Was it the same? Was it different? I'm not asking which are better, But, how did it compare? Because in Europe, they've done them before, haven't they?
Well, what I will say is the weather was definitely different. The weather was absolutely different. It didn't rain either place. That was a positive. But even I, Alan, had to put a hoodie on. And you know me, it's thankfully or unthankfully, because I'm an endurance runner, I eat a lot. I can often get around the day in just a t-shirt. Yeah, even I had to put a hoodie on. And our good friends from my zone, Emma was there with Evie and a few other people from my zone. They were all huddled up in courts, and I bet they're regretting not having the dry robes.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I was literally like saying to like the guys that I was with, because boxes like are generally, they don't obviously have any heating in, and they've got a shutter so you can run in and out of. So boxes are generally really quite cold places. And I was at one stage saying, I wish I had my dry robe here now. It sounds really bad, but like to wear a dry robe inside, it was pretty chilly. I just kept a hood on, and then when I was ready to go, like obviously once you get going, it's not too bad. But and then I didn't really stay around. Like it was a bit of a smash and grab job for me. So I just basically did the event and then got a couple of pictures and then left. So
yeah, he even left doing an interview with me, Alan. I was trying to get him because the intern was still running, and sadly, by the time the intern, you stay for the intern running, and then I had a few more things to do, and then I messaged you, and you'd gone, Matt.
Yeah. I was literally on the M26, a couple of bits of dadmin, should we say, at home to do that. Yeah. A few dad jobs decorating. So I was literally like, I'm going to be back for this time, and a couple of guys that I would needed to be back as well. So it was decent. It was really enjoyable, really good.
I won't take it personal. Don't worry. You weren't the only one who had mentally lined up for an interview. Who sadly, but we got a lot of great interviews, Alan, as you know, because I sent them over to you.
Yes, you did. Yes.
But shall I go back to your question about the differences, other than the temperature? The main difference, of course, was this was in a gym, and it was a bit more of a time trial. More of a time trial, shall we say? So you had that where two of you are going off, whereas at Zaragoza it was more of a Hyroxy type event. Even on the strong, you'd have like 8 people in your wave, maybe 10 people, and you'd all go together and you'd move on. The other difference is you didn't have your own judge. So again, in Zaragoza, they did it I call it the American football way. Or it's maybe a rugby way as well. Where you've got multiple guys all over. Yeah. So obviously there was zone marking, shall we say. Yeah. So that was a difference. And I think you would have got a quicker time doing it this way because you didn't have that, I need to find a machine, and you didn't have to move as far.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of like with Hyrox times, there's a central database. Is there one for DECA then? Because if you're going to do it different ways like this, are you going to get faster times at some gyms than others?
Yeah. Matt, do you want to take this?
I think there is. I think it's like a kind of like a worldwide thing. So Yancey talks about like getting your DECA mark like for each event and sort of stuff like that. So I think, I don't know if they kind of if Spartan or whatever still use kind of like an athlete, like an Athlinks like database. I think it will get recorded and it will stay somewhere. There have been like official results published for it. And whatnot. I think it will. I think they will stick to it, and for each of the 3 events, I think it's good. I think it's a good setup where you can do it with obviously without the running, short amount of running, and then for the fit, I think it's a great concept.
Yeah, Alan, to add to that, there is actually on the DECA website there is a world global rankings, and probably something we should add is the way we do it in Spain is different to how we do it in USA. In the USA, with the exception of the World Championships, all strongs are done in gyms like they are in Clitheroe. So if you got a 20 minutes in Clitheroe or 25 minutes or 30 minutes, it is roughly the same as doing it in America.
Right. Okay. Is it closer than Hyrox then? I mean, you said what I'm thinking is you said you potentially get a faster time doing it this way than you would on the zonal marking. In Hyrox, we know there are fast courses and slow courses. Are we going to find that with DECA?
On the strong, I don't know. A lot of it would probably depend on the judging on the day, but there's only certain, unless the judge messes up and doesn't count the reps properly, there are only a couple of movement standards where you could maybe gain time. So that would be the lunges if they allow you to not go full extension on the lunges. So do almost like like a shuffle kick lunge. Matt, you're the PT. What do you call it? Where you don't fully
kind of
extend
like a
your
little,
hips?
like a plyometric sort of like hop kind of thing. And that's one of the things that I was kind of like doing. And then that's what my judge said a couple of times is like make sure you get like a full extension as you come up. But that's also in the rules as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's not as if I was doing that. I was just overly trying to do mine like a little bit quicker. And you can kind of do that through like kind of like hopping like plyometrically through it instead.
Yeah, but you just have to have full extension though. So you can still bounce, but you can't
Come
stay in a crouch position.
Yeah, you've got to be fully vertical.
Coming back to you, Matt, what's the thing with changing resistances and stuff like that? Because you can't do that in high rocks.
Yeah, you can.
Or can you? Oh, right. I thought you had to just take whatever it was given to you.
No, mate. Do you not read the high rocks rule book either? As well as not training for it. So you didn't
high rocks have a rule book? High rocks have a rule book. I don't do anything like that.
You didn't train for it and you don't read the rule book.
Right. But what's the advantage of changing it? Because I would just
because some people train. It's a drag factor. It's like on a ski or a row. It's what creates like a drag factor, and people have got like different strengths where. Like you can put a resistance, you try rowing for a little bit with the resistance on a 5, and if you say go for the same distance and you come back to it the next day, try the same distance again, but go on it at like a 10. And I bet your times are different, and I bet you it feels different. So with the rules, kind of like at Decker and High Rocks, is you're allowed as you go up to it, you're allowed to alter the setting, but only once. Right. So if someone's left it on a 5 and if you've not trained at a 5. Alan, you wouldn't know this because you've not trained for it, so you've not even touched a rower, have you?
No. The first day. This is maybe why I failed at lunges because I had the resistance wrong, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. You know the other problem, Alan. You had the sandbag set at the heavy setting.
That's it.
So on the row and on the ski, you can generally change it, but most of the time. Like I tend to do my ski on a 10, like full setting anyway, but on a row I kind of like it at a 9, and then you can get like your own like optimum like drag factor. There's I think who's done it? Either Mark Lewis or someone like that would you like one of the hybrid podcasts? They've done a thing on it on like I'm sure they have, or Jade Skillen maybe, of like setting like drag factors and stuff. You can actually do it proper. But I just know like where I kind of like train with it at, and I know on a row that like it's like a 9 for me, and I always hit the ski on a 10 and just train like that.
Yeah, it sounds too
technical.
So
you literally just like change the dial at the side. That's it.
Still too technical for a Yorkshireman.
Matt, thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming and chatting to us and everything, letting us all know.
It's been a long time since I've been in the pub. Thanks for having me, and I'll go and get the little one out of the bath now.
Yeah. God, please.
Tell our listeners where people can find you.
On Instagram at MRPT Experience, and on Facebook, Matthew Rigby PT, and I've got my own website. It's just www.fundamentalist.co.uk. So that's for my personal training and my local run club in Macclesfield. So thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Matt. See you soon.
Cheers, Matt.
All right, bye, fellas. Laters. Ta-ra, bye.
How good was that, Ian? A bit of Decker news. I like that.
A bit of Decker news. Really good. Thanks to Matt for hopping on and giving up. Like I say, I didn't do it and I could talk about it, but sometimes you just need someone who was there who took part, didn't you?
We do. While he was talking, I actually made a note because I saw some news today and I didn't tell you about it. I didn't even put it on the notes.
Okay, what is it?
OCR World Championship. Dry Robe is back sponsoring them.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So they didn't sponsor me, remember, the other year. But now they are the official changing robe of the Obstacle Course Racing World Championships.
It's so weird calling it a changing robe, isn't it? I know that's what it is, but it's like calling Hoover a vacuum cleaner.
You're right. It does sound. I get when I talk about, because I've got a red robe, as you know, and now I'm like, people say, "Oh, what have you got?" I've got a dry robe. I mean, it's not a dry robe; it's a red robe. No, it's not red. It's a changing robe.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of it. Well, then again, it's like Decker. We're still struggling what to call it. Is it a fitness race? Is it a hybrid race? Is it a race alone? Although, Alan, while this was happening, we had some breaking news about a fitness race, which is the Battle Bunker. I can't remember if you remember us talking about Forder's Gym.
Yes.
They are hosting one of the regionals for Battle Bunker. Battle Bunker is something that existed before Hunter got involved, but Hunter is kind of like their RD. It's a fitness race that took part for the first time. It's like a cross between fitness and OCR a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen it in the States. I've seen some of the videos.
Yeah, so you've seen what happens in the States, yeah?
Yes.
So this year they are doing almost like a CrossFit, an open thing where you can submit your times, and that qualifies you for regionals. So they've just announced it, Alan. And shall I take you through?
Go on.
So the workouts is a 1,600 meter capacity test. So it's a track sprint of 1 mile.
Yeah.
You then have a strength superset where you have 5 minutes to find your 3 rep max for a strict press and 3 rep max for a back squat.
Right.
And then you have to do a 30, 20, 10 dumbbell thrusters, lateral burpees, and workout. Yeah, I have no clue.
It's all going strong in my head.
Yeah. I think the track I understand, but if anyone can translate, let us know. If you fancy trying to qualify for Forder's Gym, which is hosting the regionals, I want to say in June, then head over to the Battle Bunkers IG, look back, because this was posted tonight, look back to Wednesday, and it's all in there.
Earlier on, when we was, you just reminded me then, because I wrote a note down and I forgot to fetch it. You reminded me then when we were talking about a new race. I started following a new race today. Well, this week, should I say. I started to follow Savage Race over in America.
Okay, I was going to say, they're not new, but carry on.
No, but you reminded me about doing something new. And we talked about Tough Mudder early on, and I made the note to come back to it. If you look on their Facebook pages, they have brought some new obstacles themselves.
Really?
And they have brought, the last one they posted today is absolutely amazing. But I'm going to talk about the 3 that I've seen. So Spartan has a spear throw. These have a tire throw. So basically, a tire attached to some rope, and you throw it, and you try and lob it over a log that's sticking out. So like hoopla, I guess, and that. But it's a proper car tire. No, we're not talking. It's a proper car tire, and you're trying to throw it about 5 meters. It was about 4 or 5 meters. That looked fun. And then they have one called the tree hugger, which I loved. It was basically a log that was dangling down off some trussing, and you have to shimmy up it. Like literally hugging the tree and trying to climb it up at the same time before you hit the trussing, and then you went across the trussing and came down another log at the other side. Tree hugger. But then the best one today, it's the most simplest one ever, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. They've got netting that comes in tubes, so it's a real long tube of netting. But what they do, they tie it to some trussing at one side where you can get into it, and then they twist the netting, right, and then tie it up at the other side. So the netting, as you go into it, is twisted. So when you climb into it, you have to do like roly-polies while still to untangle it so you can keep on moving forward.
That sounds so much fun, Alan. It really does, doesn't it?
It looks amazing. They've got I don't know if it's the RD, but they've got someone testing them as well. They're putting out some. I mean, these are stuff that I've never even seen before. All 3 are something completely different.
Just think, they could have entered them in the TM Innovation Labs and got themselves a free TM ticket.
They could have. The netting would definitely get in. Yeah, that was. I'm loving following new races. I'm finding new races at the moment to follow.
Maybe we can get you out of Yorkshire someday. Yeah, we should go and spectate a Savage Race. Well, you can do it, but we should go and head over there, because sadly, I don't think they'll ever come over here. Alan, I think the final thing we could probably cover today, because I know there's certain things, certain evergreen topics on our notes, which we can cover another time. But nuts is this weekend. We've not actually talked about it, and we could just quickly go through it.
Nuts this weekend. Wayne's put loads of posts out. I think I touched on it last week about it changing, and that I'm really looking forward to going down and see what he's done. Because I'm not running, I'm going to be filming all day. So pop and say hi. This has got to be for me, the changes I've seen in the nuts course since I was down 2 years ago. I'm getting FOMO that I'm not running. I really want to run it, and I'm so jealous that anyone's going to run it. And if you listen to my podcast on Monday, I actually said I was going to give a free ticket away, my ticket to someone. And yeah, I've given it to Leon Hardwick.
Oh, that's awesome, mate. That's really super cool. So is he doing the Infinity, or is he just going to go as far as he can?
I think he'll go as far as he can. So he reached out to me, and yeah, I did say I was going to give my ticket away. So I couldn't run, so I'd give it to Leon.
Well, that's not... Oh, can we just give a quick shout out? Because I think in our excitement earlier, when we were talking about Robbie Britton's story, we didn't mention that it was Kieran McAvoy who brought it to our attention. So sorry, Kieran.
Thanks, Kieran. And I guess before we wrap up, we did say we would announce a little bit of news for the awards.
Do you want to announce it, or should we announce it at the awards?
Ooh, you're thinking to tease him now, aren't you?
Go on then, Alan. I think we've got about maybe 2 minutes left. Go on, announce it.
So we have saved £100 on the trophies. So we budgeted for the trophies, and we have saved £100 on the trophies on the night. So all the winners are going to choose a charity of their choice. So if you win, if you're going down to the awards and you're not, you potentially with winning, think of a charity, because on the night you're going to name a charity, and we're going to put them in a hat, and we're going to draw one of those charities out on the night. There, live at the awards, I am going to send £100 to that charity.
Oh, Alan, that's just amazing.
Yeah, we that's what we're here for, Ian, isn't it? You know, we said this all along. We're not in it for the money. We're in it for the love of the sport. And so we're going to give £100 to charity on the night.
Oh, that's just amazing, Alan. I wish we'd talked about this earlier, because I could have thought of some other ways to use that 100. But no, it's fine. It's fine. Like we keep saying, we are so not doing these awards for money. Absolutely.
You was thinking our bar bill, weren't you? You was thinking bar bill. If someone puts that in a charity, I'll happily do that.
There we go. Yeah, if someone wants to donate 100 for charity, we'll use it for that. No, just kidding. If someone wants to donate 100 quid for charity, we'll donate 200 quid. Yeah, if anyone wants to add, awesome, but don't worry, you don't have to. Right, Alan, who have you got on podcast next week?
Well, because I'm down at Nuts this weekend, I'm hopefully going to get some people to come and talk to me, and we're going to have some live from Nuts recordings. So I'm going to try and get the winners from the men's and the females, 1 lappers, 2 lappers, and potentially people who are doing more laps as well before the start.
Oh, that's awesome, Al. Yeah, so yeah, unfortunately you can't be there to the end, so getting people at Limitless, well, you could get them during Limitless, that would be interesting, but...
Well, that is my plan with a few people that I know who are doing it. So I know Scotty Barker always does Limitless, so I'm hoping to catch him while he's running. I can probably keep up with him for about 20 minutes. No, while he's on the rig, I'm going to be following him at the side of him, trying to talk to him. Now that is going to be fun.
That will be fun. And if you don't get anyone, we can play a best of UKOCR, which will be the greatest 2.5 minutes of the listener's life.
Ian, shall we call it a day?
We shall. Shall I just say Fitness Racing is also doing a event. I can't get my words out. We're also doing a post race interview session next week. It'll be the Decker interviews that we talked about with Matt. They'll be released next Wednesday. If you haven't already, go back and listen to this week, because we've got good friends to the show. We've got Kieran McAvoy, Kev Calder, and Martin Gemmell.
It was a great listen to. I could not stop laughing at the last part when Kev and Martin was talking about their race and how it went. I chuckled.
Yeah, the way it worked out, they were separate for the last bit. I really needed Kieran to help me keep the peace, didn't I? Because they just went away with it. They really, really went away with it. So, Alan, until Saturday, and I can't wait to see as many as you as possible at Saturday, I'm going to say it's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me, everyone. Take care. We love you. Bye.